Welcome to our countdown of 20 incredible games based on movies, where cinematic magic meets joystick mastery. From bug-plagued battlefields to haunted forests and desert wastelands, each title channeling Hollywood's spirit has redefined licensed gaming. Buckle up as we dive into immersive worlds born on the silver screen and come alive under your control. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment if you've played any of these gems. Kicking things off in slot 20, Starship Troopers Extermination thrusts me straight into a plasma hellscape on Outpost 5, where every volley of automatic fire crackles against chitinous exoskeletons. I disembark with 15 fellow troopers, hearts hammering as acidic brood queens tear through unsealed breach points, transforming the terrain into a writhing nightmare. Between each pulse-pounding wave, I dash through choking volumetric fog to our forward operating base, rallying teammates and assigning roles. Assault, medic, demolitions on the fly. Orbital strikes obliterate bug strongholds overhead while salvage glints among shattered crates. Each scrap of hyperalloy a lifeline toward upgraded armor, experimental UPP rounds, or heavier rifles. Offworld Industries' Unreal Engine 4 prowess brings every explosion to life. Walls shatter, debris arcs skyward, dust storms roll through open battlefields. Enemy pheromone clusters escalate with every delayed objective, summoning siege crawlers and acidic brood queens with ruthless efficiency. My radio crackles with urgent calls, and when a squad mate in a power loader rips a hive corridor apart, I feel the thrill of a cinematic victory. Rapid patch updates have smoothed launch day hiccups, but the core tension remains unrelenting. Each firefight tests both tactical smarts and trigger discipline, cementing this as the definitive cooperative FPS evolution of Verhoeven's Bug Blitz. Shifting from alien swarms to cinematic behemoths, prepare to conquer a jungle where mythic power reigns. Claiming the 19th slot, King Kong, the official game of the movie, drops me into Skull Island's rain-drenched expanses as Jack Driscoll boots sinking into ferns while I dodge snapping jaws and perilous pitfalls. In first-person stealth, I weave past raptors and scavenge demolition charges. In a heartbeat, perspective shifts and I become Kong, rippling muscles hoisting stone pillars to crush enemy war machines. Weta Digital's performance capture magic animates Kong's every emotion, from mournful roars to primal rage, with lifelike precision. Thundering steam mill sequences challenge me to free Kong by planting bombs, triggering thunderous roars that echo through misty canyons. Dynamic weather drenches every scene. Torrential rain blurs distant volcanoes, while lightning flashes reveal hidden caverns strewn with fossils. Carl Denham's gravelly voice guides me through oil-painted backdrops, directing my path through booby-trapped ruins and hostile tribes. Physics-driven destruction rewards creative play, hurling boulders, collapsing scaffolds, and carving new routes through ancient temples. An orchestral score swells in perfect harmony with Kong's tragic heroism, grounding each battle in cinematic gravitas. With seamless transitions, visceral combat, and narrative fidelity, King Kong stands as the benchmark for licensed games, proving that vision and technical prowess can rival blockbuster films. Now hit 88 miles per hour as time itself bends. Rolling into 18th place, Back to the Future the game propels me through an episodic trip that crackles with 80s nostalgia. I slip into Marty McFly's sneakers, balancing inventory puzzles, rewiring hoverboard circuitry, calibrating the flux capacitor, with rapid-fire dialogue choices that echo into later chapters. Christopher Lloyd's Doc Brown bursts through my speakers, his manic energy embodied in blueprint scrawls overlaying my HUD. From It's About Time to Out of Time, each chapter blends heart, humor, and high-stakes paradox. Telltale's Engine 4 goes loading screens, melding hand-drawn backgrounds with fluid character animation. I duck rogue time cop blaster bolts in 2044, outwit Biff's antics at a dance, and race to reboot the DeLorean's reactor core before temporal feedback unravels reality. Choices: saving or sacrificing allies, ripple forward, shaping relationships and unlocking secret dialogue paths. Seamless cinematic flair carries me from puzzle-laden storefronts to adrenaline-fueled chases. Every roar of the DeLorean, every flick of Alan Silvestri's theme cements Back to the Future the game as a loving, interactive sequel that reshapes the adventure genre. Next up, descend into darkness where xenomorphs await. 17th in the lineup, Aliens, Fireteam Elite flings me onto a neon-lit Wayland-Yutani platform, shoulder to shoulder with 2 fellow Marines. I configure loadouts, Recon's cloaking grenades, Demolisher's napalm charges, Doc's medkits, then brace as the airlock hisses open. The stench of antiseptic mingles with sulfur when xenomorphs burst from vents. Campaign's desolation through domination test our mettle with data retrieval, hive core demolition, and evac under fire. Emergent AI transforms corridors into shifting death traps. Bugs tunnel through walls, pounce from ceilings, and adapt tactics mid-battle. Delays crank pheromone clusters skyward, summoning siege crawlers and acidic brood queens in brutal swarms. Between extractions, I channel salvage into freeze rounds, reinforced plating, and orbital strikes that turn hive mouths into infernos. Atmospheric touches, flickering neon tubes, mournful synth score, hiss of vent sounds recreate James Cameron's vision in uncanny detail. Pathogen DLC and patches add fresh weapons and nightmare variants, keeping each extraction unique. When evac shuttles thunder overhead, relief is sweet and all too brief. Next, steel yourself for a metallic law enforcer patrolling grimy streets. 16th on the countdown, RoboCop Rogue City snaps me into Alex Murphy's cybernetic shell. Neon reflections dancing off my steel chassis. Immediate directives ping. Serve the public trust. Protect the innocent. Uphold the law. I sift through shattered crime scenes, gather disappearing evidence, and decide, lethal or non-lethal, each choice swaying public order ratings. Unreal Engine 5's Lumen and Nanite technologies deliver rain-slick streets dripping in photoreal glow, granular debris, and volumetric fog that clings to every alley. Mid-mission tasks keep me agile, rescue civilians from burning hospitals, intercept Nova drug shipments, and hunt corporate mercs under drone watch. Between patrols, scrap fuels, Auto 9 upgrades, incendiary rounds, freeze-capable UPP mods, smart trackers that paint crooks and glowing crosshairs. In the unfinished business expansion, Peter Weller's gravelly voice returns as I explore Murphy's pre-robot origins, facing drones and enhanced mercs beneath a blood-red sky. Regular updates refine AI, stabilize matchmaking, and balance challenges, forging a polished experience that feels ripped from the movie reel. Hold steady, next blast into starfields and galactic battles awaits. Stepping into the 15th position, Star Wars Battlefront 2 hurls me into a galaxy torn by conflict, where blaster bolts ricochet under Endor's towering trees and TIE fighters carve arcs of death through Jakku's dusty skies. I dive into Galactic Assault's 64-player phrase, ducking behind ATAT legs as snowtroopers unleash a hail of ion shots. A quick menu toggle sends me hurtling into Starfighter Assault, gripping flight sticks as X-Wing lasers snap past Imperial cruisers. Each match pulses with cinematic scale. Walker escorts beneath Hoth's auroras, capital ship boarding missions above Scarif, and 4v4 heroes versus villains duels that let me channel the Force into ferocious saber clashes. Inferno Squad leader Iden Vergio anchors the single-player campaign, her voice, Janina Gavinkar's steely tone, imbuing each mission with raw urgency. I slip past sensor arrays on Endor, ghost through supremacy corridors and stealth runs, and confront my own loyalty amid Bob Gale's stirring narrative. From emotional cutscenes to on-rails turret strafes, the campaign weaves introspection and explosive action into a seamless holoreel. Loot boxes ignited fan fury at launch, but EA's swift overhaul, making star cards earnable, slashing hero costs, and turning crystals cosmetic, reset expectations. 8 seasons worth of free DLC ushered in Clone Wars Champions, Hoth skirmishes, and Rise of Skywalker finales. Frostbite 3's volumetric lighting and weather effects drench every trench run and starfighter dogfight in photoreal sheen, proving that redemption stories can shine as brightly as twin suns. Trading star cruisers for street turf, prepare to brawl where every punch echoes in neon-lit alleys. Claiming the 14th rung, the Warriors slaps me into a world of grit and neon underbelly, where every haymaker lands like thunder on rain-slick asphalt. I join Coney Island's most infamous crew, fists raised as rival gangs converge under flickering street lamps. Context-sensitive brawling morphs my jabs into environmental takedowns, hurling enemies through stained glass storefronts, pinning them against subway grates, or launching them headfirst into graffiti-tagged dumpsters. Rockstar Toronto's collaboration with Walter Hill's original team birthed motion-captured performances that crackle with authenticity. Michael Beck's Cochise swagger and James Remar's Ajax snarl feel lived in as I navigate 7 soul-staining chapters. Bank heists at dawn, rooftop ambushes under neon haze, and a heart-pounding subway massacre that mirrors the film's most iconic clash. Renderware's seamless streaming tosses me from open-world havens to tight alleyways without a single loading pause. Dynamic day-night cycles drape each turf war in noir shadows, while Paul Cantalon's updated score and period radio chatter infuse every street corner with pulse-pounding atmosphere. 2-player co-op doubles the chaos, though split-screen cameras sometimes struggle to capture simultaneous breakdowns of bone and neon. Leaving neon-drenched brawls behind, brace yourself for a world of magic where wand sparks light the way. Sliding into the 13th birth, Hogwarts Legacy transports me to an 1890s wizarding world where every corridor conceals enchantments and dangers. I customize my 5th-year avatar, wand in hand, robes tailored to house pride, and launch into open-world exploration. A hippogriff's wings beat beneath me as I soar over the Forbidden Forest's misted canopies, then ground-level skulking beneath sentient vines in subterranean catacombs. Unreal Engine 4's photoreal lighting bathes torchlit halls in golden beams, while volumetric fog drifts through colossal archways. I master spells. Axio's yank pulls debris. Levioso sends foes on aerial tours. Incendio bursts into roaring flame and weave them into strategic combos against dark wizards and mythical beasts. Moral dilemmas simmer beneath every choice. Side with Professor Fig to secure a lost relic, or join Sebastian Sallow in vault expeditions that test my ethics. Ancient magic pulses beneath castle stones, drawing a secret cabal eager to harness its power. Potion brewing in the Room of Requirement, I concoct elixirs that buff my abilities and reveal hidden passages. Mods and a free creator kit spark community-driven quests, dragon riding duels, haunted carousel mysteries, expanding my Hogwarts vocabulary beyond the base game. From magic's warm glow to metallic chills, get set to face relentless machines in a fight for human survival. Climbing into 12th place, Terminator Resistance flings me into a ravaged 2028 Los Angeles, where every echoing footstep could trigger a hunter-killer ambush. I scavenge makeshift pipe rifles and jury-rigged plasma repeaters, balancing scarce ammo with stealth takedowns that leave shadowjackers none the wiser. Miles of crumbling freeways and suffocating subway tunnels, rendered in Unreal Engine 4's dynamic light and volumetric fog, set the stage for visceral firefights. Jacob Rivers' journey unfolds through radio dispatches from John Connor, survivor testimonies, and flashbacks that humanize each firefight. Perk-driven progression unlocks combat upgrades and survival skills, while lock-picking mini-games and branching dialogues propel narrative arcs into multiple endings. The Infiltrator mode flips roles. Playing as a T-800, I stalk humans without checkpoints, painting a mirror of fear and precision. April 2021's Enhanced Edition levels up the experience with ray tracing, DualSense haptics, and native 4K 60 FPS marathons. Post-patch improvements have honed AI behaviors and performance, cementing this as the Terminator game Cameron fans have long awaited. From mechanical hunters to prehistoric beasts, brace for the ultimate park-building expedition. Securing the 11th slot, Jurassic World Evolution 2 hands me the reins of a dinosaur empire where every DNA twist summons either marvel or mayhem. I trace wheat fields into dense jungle paddocks, sequence genetic blueprints in a gleaming lab, then unveil hybrid horrors like Scorpio's Rex. Island-specific campaigns strand me amid volcanic activity tied to biosyn conspiracies, demanding swift evacuations and emergency protocols that test my park-building mettle. Frontier's in-house engine bathes verdant biomes in volumetric light and swaying foliage, while procedural animation systems nail predator-prey chases. Velociraptors hunting in packs, herbivores trampling through understory. DLC packs from Camp Cretaceous to Dominion Biosyn unfurl new species, challenges, and narrative arcs that feel both canonical and experimental. Modular sandbox modes invite endless tinkering, build subterranean cave systems, orchestrate park-wide weather disasters, or craft roller coaster panoramas over dino-infested valleys. Steam's very positive reviews and 3 million sales by mid-2023 underscore its triumph, while a thriving modding community speckles futures with feathered velociraptors and Jurassic-themed musical parades. Get ready, the top 10 cinematic tie-ins are revving up to break the mold. At number 10, Star Wars Outlaws casts me as Kay Vess, a razor-sharp scoundrel carving a path between The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. A high-stakes casino heist on Canto Bight spirals out of control, stranding me on Akiva's sun-baked dunes alongside Nyx, my loyal beast companion. Choices, alliances, or betrayals shape my reputation with syndicates and the Rebel Alliance, unlocking branching missions across neon-lit Kijimi and the blistering sands of Tatooine. Powered by Ubisoft's Snowdrop engine, the open galaxy streams seamlessly. I pilot my Trailblazer starship through asteroid fields and epic dogfights, then drop straight into planetary insertions without a hitch. On foot, I rig Imperial turrets, slip past Stormtrooper patrols with cloaking grenades, and fuse ranged blaster firefights with vibro knife melee and acrobatic vaults. Kay's skill tree splits into Scoundrel, Brawler, and Sharpshooter, letting me tailor every encounter to my style. Salvage from downed droids funds weapon and armor upgrades, while starport vendors offer cosmetic skins and rare ship components. Story expansions like A Pirate's Fortune, reuniting me with Hondo Onaka on Ryloth, and wildcard casino heists on Nar Shaddaa further deepen the Underworld saga. Post-launch patches refined AI, boosted performance, and added challenge modes, earning Outlaws an 82 Metacritic. With its living, reactive galaxy and player-driven narrative, Star Wars Outlaws sets a new benchmark for single-player Star Wars adventures. Sliding into 9th place, Blair Witch drags me into Maryland's Black Hills Forest as ex-cop Ellis Lynch, flashlight trembling, camcorder rolling, and Bullet, my loyal shepherd dog, at my side. A desperate search for a missing boy becomes a descent into psychological horror, where found footage tropes collide with modern gameplay loops. I rewind cassette tapes to reshape paths and photograph spectral anomalies that warp the world around me. Bullet's keen nose guides me to hidden talismans, wooden dolls, Polaroids, cassette recordings, while his sudden frantic barks warn of unseen presences stalking the undergrowth. Every rustle of leaves under Unreal Engine 4's dynamic fog feels like a whispered threat. Sudden downpours and drifting mists turn familiar trails into shifting nightmares. Combat isn't an option. Shadowy entities drawn to sound force me to slip through the forest in silence, crafting distractions from broken branches and tossed rocks. Puzzles range from sequencing haunted tape glitches to aligning Polaroids with twisted landmarks, each solution peeling back layers of Ellis's trauma-fueled memories. The diegetic HUD, flashlight beam as health, camera flicker as sanity gauge, keeps me immersed as reality fractures. With a Metacritic around 70, critics praised its bone-chilling atmosphere and the unique bond with Bullet, even as they noted pacing lulls. In the end, Blair Witch proves that clever design and psychological tension can conjure deep terror, even on a modest budget. Sliding into 8th place, The Chronicles of Riddick, Escape from Butcher Bay flings me into a maximum security nightmare. As convicted assassin Riddick, I stalk the dank corridors of Butcher Bay, first-person shadows shifting into third-person brawls that showcase Vin Diesel's feral grace. Stealth mode tints screen edges blue, letting me pinch throats in silence, then snap into visceral melee, hurling guards through torchlit tunnels. Starbreeze's proprietary engine streams expansive prison yards without loading pauses, while a diegetic interface keeps HUD elements invisible. Health flares and splashes of red and weapon selection cues appear on Riddick's belt. Early levels chain me to improvised shivs. Later segments unlock locked firearms via DNA armories, rewarding exploration with tranquilizer rifles and pistols that puncture the gloom. Environmental puzzles, rewinding surveillance tapes to reroute patrols, or using light and shadow to cloak my escape, intertwined with cinematic in-engine cutscenes that flesh out alliances, betrayals, and Riddick's ruthless wit. Procedural beasts lurk in hidden cells, animated by Wada's creature team to match the film's grit. Flickering torchlight, echoing drips, and distant alien roars heighten the claustrophobic dread of escaping an inescapable fortress. Critics hailed it as one of the best movie games ever made, lauding its seamless first third-person blend, immersive world-building, and tight stealth FPS design, a gold standard that still echoes through licensed titles and speedrunning lore. Trade prison walls for battle lines as elite clones prepare to launch covert ops. Sliding into 7th place, Star Wars Republic Commando drops me in as boss, leader of Delta Squad, for high-stakes Clone Wars operations. Using a modified Unreal Engine 2, LucasArts conjures lush jungles and steel echo chambers where I issue tactical commands, cover fire, regroup, flank, to Scorch, Sev, and Fixer. Their AI responds with ruthless precision as we infiltrate separatist strongholds and stealth missions, shackled to melee shivs before unlocking DE4 blasters, grenades, and rocket launchers. A seamless diegetic interface ditches traditional HUDs. Ammo counts gleam on console readouts, health jingles through comm chatter, and objective markers flicker in squad chatter. Missions range from jungle recon on Felucia to urban sabotage on Coruscant's glittering spires, each stage punctuated by in-engine cutscenes that reveal squad personalities, Scorch's sardonic quips, Sev's unflinching calm, and themes of loyalty and sacrifice among expendable clone soldiers. Composer Jesse Harlan swaps John Williams' sweeping scores for militaristic drums and the haunting choral Vodeon theme in Mondoa, sharpening the tone. Performance-captured animations lend weight to every precisely executed takedown and coordinated volley, while destructible environments, crumbling walls, shattered crates, amplify tactical thrills. Abandoned blaster salvos. Revenge awaits in a realm where orcs remember every strike. Charging into 6th place, Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor resurrects me as Talion, a Gondorian ranger fused with Celebrimbor's Wraith, hunting orc warlords across the blasted plains of Udun and the Nurnen coast. At the core lies the Nemesis system. Every Uruk I spare or slay gains scars, grudges, and promotions, returning as hate-filled captains in emergent storylines that defy static scripts. Combat flows with seamless stealth and fury. First-person takedowns tint edges green to signal hidden strikes. Third-person Wraith executions tear foes apart with spectral blades. A dual skill tree splits between ranger abilities, shadow leaps, elven archery, and wraith powers, rune-crafted gear enhancements, brutal execution moves, so every confrontation reinforces my growing legend. Powered by a modified Lithtech engine, the game streams vast fortresses and open fields without loading pauses, draped in volumetric fog and dynamic lighting that thickens the air with menace. Procedural destruction, storming gatehouses, collapsing watchtowers, anchor siege missions and visceral spectacle, while Gary Scheiman's brooding score and environmental roars underscore Sauron's looming threat. Upon release, critics lauded Shadow of Mordor for reinventing licensed IP through procedural storytelling, sweeping awards, and selling over 5 million copies by mid-2015. Its legacy ripples through modern game design, proving that dynamic AI and emergent narratives can forge unforgettable sagas even in the darkest of realms. Brace yourself, the top 5 cinematic tie-ins are about to shatter expectations. Entering the 5th gear, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle casts me as the legendary Dr. Jones in 1937, racing Nazi agents to unearth the mystical Great Circle. Machine Games and Bethesda Game Studios spin an original tale, voiced by Troy Baker as Indy, across semi-open hubs. Flooded Sukhothai temples, Venetian canals, and Himalayan monasteries. Whip and revolver combat pairs with environmental puzzles. I lash across chasms, decode glyphic inscriptions, and dodge spiked ceilings. Stealth disguises and grappling hooks let me bypass patrols, while a radial menu grants instant access to flashlight map and artifact scanner. Powered by Snowdrop, the world streams seamlessly. No loading screens between horseback desert rides and gondola chases. Advanced volumetric lighting bathes ancient ruins in golden sunset hues. Cloth physics makes whip cracks tangible, and next-gen 4K 60 FPS performance keeps momentum unbroken. Free updates added adventure books, time trials, and iconic tombs, HUD customizations, and quality-of-life fixes. Story expansions like A Pirate's Fortune reunite me with Hondo Onaka, while Wildcard scores high-stakes casino heists on Nar Shaddaa. Critics praised its authentic indie flair and standout set pieces, Zeppelin dogfights and collapsing temples, earning an 82 Metacritic, though some noted late campaign repetition. Now, shift from relic hunts to heart-pounding survival among the stars. Sliding into 4th place, Alien Isolation thrusts me into Sevastopol as Amanda Ripley, scavenging parts and crafting tools to outwit a single, relentless xenomorph. Creative Assembly's proprietary engine renders flickering CRT monitors, analog distortion, and shifting emergency lights in stunning fidelity. I hack station systems via diegetic VHS-style interfaces, set noisemakers and EMP mines as distractions, and sneak through vents, each corridor echoing with distant hisses. The xenomorph's procedural AI learns from my actions. If I lunge with the flamethrower, it adapts, stalking from vents I thought safe. Limited saves at keycard stations heighten tension, and the crafting menu transforms scraps into flares, molotovs, and medkits on the fly. Volumetric fog and deferred lighting cloak corridors and shadows that feel alive. Sigourney Weaver's DLC return as Ellen Ripley bridges nostalgia and new dread. Critics lauded Isolation's atmosphere, sound design, and AI genius. Wired called it one of the best film fidelities in gaming. Though some decried pacing lulls and save point scarcity, retrospectives credit it as a genre-defining horror, inspiring future titles with its emergent fear and authentic design. Next up, Wield the Force, not just once, but again. Climbing to 3rd, Star Wars Jedi Survivor reunites me with Cal Kestis 5 years after Fallen Order. Unreal Engine 4's open-world hubs, Kobo's bustling streets, Tanalore's hidden Zepho ruins, and Coruscant's Undercity flow seamlessly, rewarding exploration with datacrons and side quests. Combat explodes with 5 lightsaber stances, from single blade to dual wield, and fluid force abilities like echoes and mind control. I chain stances and powers into creative combos, while BD-1's scanners and Marin's empathic choices unlock new upgrades and dialogue paths. Fast travel remains optional, preserving immersion. Companion missions and faction reputations shape Cal's ending. Post-launch DLC, A Pirate's Fortune featuring Hondo Onaka, injects fresh heist thrills. Critics praised its rich lore, high-octane duels, and sprawling planets, though last-gen performance hiccups lingered. With over 5 million copies sold, Survivor cements itself as the premier Jedi action-adventure. Prepare to slash through spines and shatter skeletons. Forging into 2nd place, X-Men Origins Wolverine slashes through expectations with brutal ferocity. Raven Software's Uncaged Edition on Unreal Engine 3 unleashes visceral claw combos and environmental takedowns, limb-from-limb executions included. Early levels chain me to hand-to-hand fury. Later I unlock firearms and grenades, layering variety onto the carnage. Hugh Jackman's voice and likeness anchor cinematic cutscenes as I infiltrate Weapon X to rescue mutants, facing Sabretooth and Deadpool in signature boss battles. Diegetic UI flashes health through screen cues, while hair and costume physics lend weight to every glide and strike. Critics lauded its gore-driven combat and faithful Wolverine portrayal, but noted repetitive bosses and handheld versions stripped mechanics. Despite mixed reviews, Wolverine's cult status endures. Spike Awards for Best Voice Performance and Ensemble Cast in 2009, and its unapologetic brutality set a template for future superhero slashes. Finally, buckle up for a wasteland odyssey where every rev of the engine spells survival. Seizing the top spot, Mad Max hurls me into a barren expanse where the road is war. Avalanche's apex engine streams canyons and flooded plains without pause as I customize the magnum opus, harpoons, flamethrowers, turbo boosts, and face marauding warlords led by Scabrous Scrotus. Vehicular combat shifts into cinematic battle view, letting me toggle targets and unleash explosive takedowns. On foot, free-flow combat echoes Arkham's rhythm with light strikes, grapples, and adrenaline-powered frenzy finishers. Resource scarcity forces scavenging, scrap, fuel, water, while fortress assaults and time trials unlock upgrades and lower region threat levels. Dynamic weather churns sandstorms and heat haze. Real-time physics wreck cars and scatter debris in tangible wreckage. Critics praised its vehicular mayhem and wasteland authenticity, but flagged on-foot mission repetition and narrative thinness. Underperformance at launch, blamed on Metal Gear Solid 5E's Shadow, didn't stop it from forging a cult following. Today, Mad Max's focus on car combat and survival mechanics continues shaping open-world design and license adaptation. That wraps our journey through 20 movie-inspired gaming marvels. Which world will you revisit next? Hit like, subscribe, and drop your thoughts below to keep the conversation rolling. And remember, every movie was once a script. Your controller writes the next chapter.